Hey, what's up guys? It's Jake with BPM. I'm on my way back from a wedding reception I had in Brookings, South Dakota. It was a really good one. One of those where I wish the camera was charged. But anyway, it got me thinking, because at the end of the reception, after the usual thank yous and everything from everybody, a young kid came up using the bridal party, and he said, "Hey, how did you get going DJing?" And I was like, well, he wanted to know how to start and how I started, so I just kind of told him in a nutshell, but then that made me think. I haven't ever done a video about my actual history of how I started and things like that, and the whole YouTube thing is it's cool, and it's kind of humbling because I'm not a big YouTube sensation or anything, but I have 150, 160 subscribers, and mostly other DJs, and I'm just thankful for that, and like I said, humbled by that. And there's a user group that comments on my videos and stuff like that, and I really appreciate that, and I wish I was better about commenting on other people's videos. But anyway, so I guess you could say I got started DJing back in probably 95, or it could have been 94, because I believe I was a freshman in high school. My buddy Norman and I, we got kind of volunteered or asked to do a junior high dance in the lunchroom. And we're like, yeah, that's cool, we'll do that. So that first dance we grabbed, I think we had a couple home CD players, and I remember Norman had a stereo receiver that was a push button front to switch the inputs. So we did a CD player on one input, and then another CD player on the other input. And then one of us manned the CD player, and the other one manned the push buttons, and we were like, okay, next song, ready? 1, 2, 3. And then he'd push the button, or I'd push the button, and then we pushed play on the CD player. So that's how we mixed our first junior high dance. And then from there, we kind of we decided we wanted to kind of team up and tag team the DJ thing, because we really liked that. So we did that. Norman and I, through high school, we made a little DJ crew called the Wan Fu Twins, and I think it was our senior year, we did a frat party in Columbia that was really cool, and we had a whole crew with us, and we had t-shirts and everything made up. And by then we had a little better gear. We still had kind of home speakers, but we had an actual amp. I think it was a PV. I think it was a PV 3000, which isn't 3000 watts, it's 200 watts. But I had some turntables by then too. My first turntables were some Newmark belt drive TT. Gosh, I don't even know. If I have a picture, if I can find a picture, I'll post it in this video right here. But yeah, they're belt drive, needles skip like crazy. I remember my first needles, I believe they were Stanton AL 500s or 500 ALs. And I remember I always have to put a penny on the head shells so they wouldn't skip. And so anyway, those were my first decks. And we mixed on CD players mostly, because vinyl was hard to find. We had some American DJs, the single tray ones. And then I bought one, Norman bought one, so we had two when we were together. My first mixer with those turntables was a Radio Shack mixer. And I remember one of our first school dances Norman and I did. I was like, why is this so quiet? We were playing music, and that's when I discovered the phono line switch. I guess we ended up slipped on the wrong one. As soon as we flipped it over the line, it came through loud and clear. But after that, we kind of upgraded gear. I remember my first expensive mixer that I bought was, I think it was a Atus or Altus. I'll try to find a picture of that too. It's a 19-inch mixer. I paid $250 for it at the Vox Box in Marshall, Missouri. And the crossfader was so stiff on it, you basically had to use two hands to get it, to the other side. Not really, but it was pretty stiff. But we weren't doing a lot of cutting or anything back then. I was mainly just doing some baby scratches and things like that. So the reason I got into turntables and things like that, nowadays everybody has decks, because Serato is around, so everybody's got turntables now. But back then I got turntables because I wanted to scratch, because I saw the movie Juice with Tupac, and there was DJ in there, and he is in DJ battles, and he was cutting it up and everything. I thought that was so cool, so I really wanted to do that. And I also like music and everything. I was in band, played the trumpet, so I always had an interest in music, and this just let me take a whole new approach to it. So that was the story behind the turntables. And then after high school, Norman and I went to different colleges, so we kind of parted ways as far as the whole DJ thing. Still remain friends, of course, but I went to Warrensburg, Missouri. Central Missouri State University is my college. And then the first year I was there, we have a street called Pine Street, and it's a party street basically. So I worked at the Piggly Wiggly with a friend. Chris Cooper was his name, and he was actually the roommate of Eric Acosta, which was the bar manager / owner. And so I convinced him to let me come in and DJ, and back then it was DJing on mainly Denon. It was a Denon dual deck. It was a nice Denon. I don't know if you guys remember, you DJs out there, but it was the one that had the number pad in the middle between the two decks on the controller. And so we DJed on that, and you know, I did a little mixing, you know, with the turntables and with Norman stuff. I didn't really understand it, so I was like, I knew BPMs and everything. So I was like, okay, this song is 98 BPM, or that's a bad example. This song is 90 BPM, this one's 93 BPM, so I need to do +3 because that'll add 3 beats per minute. No, that's not how it works. It's percentages. So I learned that quickly, and got started getting the mixing down a lot more. And then I still have my turntables there in my dorm room. And then after the dorm room, I upgraded my turntables. Finally, I got some Technics 1210s is what they were. Not the 1200s, but 1210s just had a voltage switch for, you know, Europe. So they're black. I still use those to this day. So I got those. And then we moved some turntables down to the club, the Star Bar that I was DJing at from another bar. And so I use those more. I always use turntables, but you know, records are hard to find back then. And when I first started out, there were only a couple of websites because the internet, you know, was just getting started. If that's, you know, I know it's hard to believe, but so I'd get them online all I could. The Source for Music. I think there was a DJ shop in New York that had a website, Abracadabra, I believe was the name of it. I don't know if you guys remember that. But that's where I get all my stuff. Some of my first records that I got, this is backtracking back in high school. I had the Mace record. I had Deja Vu, Lord Treaker Peter Guns. I had Doggy Style and the Chronic and stuff like that. But anyway, back up to college, I subscribed to Funky Mix, and that's where I got all my vinyl. So I had tons and tons of Funky Mixes. I think my first Funky Mix was like Funky Mix 20-something or whatever. But anyway, that's how I got my vinyl there. And then I DJ'd at the Star Bar throughout college, and I kind of had a nice little residency there. I had my name muraled on the DJ booth. The owner did that for me. And then after, at the same time, I was doing weddings and whatnot a little more. You know, a lot of school dances, because I thought weddings were pretty boring and I didn't want to be part of that. So what changed that for me, fast forward a couple years, I was still, you know, doing CDs mainly for weddings, and I would get their playlists and I would basically burn just a shit ton of CDs for the weddings. And that took forever, and it was just a pain. So I finally decided to go the laptop route, and I got a Dell, and I had PC DJ on there, and I was like, this is alright, but it's kind of lame to mix with it. Then fast forward to like 2005, I got Serato. It was expensive, it just came out. I was thinking about getting Final Scratch, you know, when that was around, but people said it crashed, which it does. So I got Serato, Scratch Live, and that kind of changed the game for me for weddings, because I would always bring my turntables to weddings, but I only had a select, you know, group of records that I could play at a wedding. But then when I was Serato, my first wedding with Serato, I was like, wow, this is gonna make it so much better and more fun for me to DJ weddings. And so yeah, I mean, that's it in a nutshell, how I got started and all that good stuff. Now I've been doing it for, you know, like I said, since 94, 95, and I really like to do a lot of mixing and stuff at weddings and scratching and stuff. I used to be timid about that, but then I was like, you know what, this is me, I'm different this way. I like to mix it up as long as I do it tastefully, throw some scratches in there every now and then. You know, I'm better for it, and it gives me something to work for and strive to. So alright, that's my approach to things, that's my history, and you know, I apologize, it might have been a boring video for some, but I just thought I like watching people talk about how they got started DJing, because I'm, you know, a DJ geek like that. But anyway, comment if you want, give it a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever the hell that is now, and see you next time. Adios.